The Leaning Tower of Pisa, a history of an architectural marvel. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is one of the world's most famous architectural wonders, drawing millions of tourists every year. Its unintended tilt has fascinated engineers, historians, and visitors for centuries. This iconic structure, known for its distinctive lean, is not just a quirky landmark, it is a symbol of medieval ingenuity, persistence, and the delicate balance between architecture and nature. But why does it lean? And more importantly, why hasn't it collapsed after all these centuries? Let's explore the fascinating history of this legendary tower and the reasons behind its surprising stability. The origins: a grand bell tower for Pisa. The story of the Leaning Tower of Pisa begins in the 12th century in the Italian city of Pisa. At the time, Pisa was a powerful maritime republic, competing with Venice, Genoa, and Amalfi for dominance in Mediterranean trade. The city sought to showcase its wealth and influence by constructing grand buildings, including the Piazza dei Miracoli, or the Square of Miracles, which would house a cathedral, a baptistery, and a bell tower. The construction of the Tower of Pisa, Torre di Pisa, began in 1173 as part of the Cathedral of Santa Maria Assunta. The tower was designed to be a freestanding bell tower, a common feature of Italian churches. Architect Bonanno Pisano is often credited with its original design, though some scholars suggest that the project involved multiple architects over the years. The tower was planned to stand 8 stories tall and reach 60 meters, 197 feet, in height, with a circular shape and marble exterior, embodying the Romanesque architectural style of the time. However, it didn't take long for the project to encounter a major problem, one that would define the tower's fate for centuries. Why did the tower start to lean? Only 5 years after construction began, by the time the second story was completed in 1178, builders noticed something alarming. The structure had already started to tilt. The problem lay in the soft, unstable soil beneath the foundation. Pisa sits on a mix of clay, sand, and silt, which is not ideal for supporting heavy stone structures. With a foundation only about 3 meters, 10 feet deep, the weight of the tower began to cause one side to sink, leading to an unmistakable lean. This sudden problem caused construction to halt for almost a century. Political conflicts and wars between Pisa and neighboring states delayed further building efforts. Ironically, this pause in construction might have saved the tower. Had the builders continued immediately, the weight of the upper floors could have caused a total collapse. Instead, the ground had time to settle, which may have contributed to the tower's eventual survival. Attempts to correct the lean. When construction resumed in 1272, the new engineers attempted to compensate for the tilt by building the upper floors with one side taller than the other. This gave the tower its slightly curved appearance, which is still visible today. Despite these efforts, the tilt continued to worsen. Over the centuries, architects and engineers made several attempts to prevent the tower from collapsing. Some of these efforts included reinforcing the base. Engineers added counterweights and reinforced the foundation to slow down the sinking. Soil removal and stabilization. Various techniques were used to stabilize the soft ground beneath the tower. Anchoring cables. In modern times, steel cables and lead counterweights have been used to help support the structure. Despite these efforts, the lean persisted. By the 20th century, the tilt had become dangerously extreme, reaching 5.5 degrees, raising fears that the tower would eventually collapse. The modern rescue. How it was saved. By the late 20th century, experts feared that the Leaning Tower of Pisa was on the verge of falling. A major restoration project was launched in 1990, led by a team of international engineers. The tower was closed to visitors for safety reasons, and extensive work was carried out to reduce its tilt. One of the most successful methods involved removing soil from beneath the raised side of the foundation, allowing the tower to settle more evenly. This innovative technique, known as soil extraction, was carefully executed in stages to avoid destabilizing the structure. By the time the project was completed in 2001, the lean had been reduced from 5.5 degrees to 3.97 degrees, making the tower significantly more stable. Engineers estimated that these efforts extended the tower's lifespan by at least 200 more years. Why doesn't the tower fall? Despite its precarious tilt, the Leaning Tower of Pisa remains standing due to a combination of factors. 1. Its center of gravity. The tower's center of gravity remains within its base, meaning that even though it tilts, the weight is still distributed in a way that prevents it from toppling over. This is crucial for its stability. 2. Its soft soil actually helps. While the unstable ground caused the lean, it also absorbs vibrations from earthquakes, preventing sudden shifts. Unlike other tall buildings that can be shaken apart by seismic activity, the Tower of Pisa moves gently with the earth, which reduces the risk of structural failure. 3. Countermeasures and adjustments. Engineers over the centuries have reinforced the structure through careful modifications, such as adding counterweights and adjusting the materials used to stabilize the soil. 4. The tower's unique design. The tower's cylindrical shape and lightweight marble construction help distribute weight evenly. The fact that it was built in stages allowed the soil to settle naturally, preventing an immediate collapse. The tower today. A global icon. Today, the Leaning Tower of Pisa stands as one of Italy's most recognizable landmarks. Millions of tourists visit each year to take the classic holding up the tower photo, or simply admire its unique architecture. Despite initial fears, engineers now believe the tower is stable enough to last for centuries. In fact, since the last restoration, its tilt has even decreased slightly due to the soil naturally shifting. Fun facts about the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Galileo Galilei, the famous scientist from Pisa, is said to have conducted gravity experiments by dropping objects from the tower to test their falling speeds. The tower weighs approximately 14,500 metric tons. It took almost 200 years to complete, with the final floor and bell chamber added in 1372. There are 7 bells in the tower, each representing a musical note. The tower leans toward the south. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is more than just a quirky accident of architecture. It is a testament to human resilience, creativity, and the power of engineering. What started as a flaw turned into one of the most beloved monuments in history. Today, it stands not as a failure but as an enduring success, proof that even imperfections can become legendary. Whether you admire it for its historical significance, engineering marvel, or simply its unique look, the Leaning Tower of Pisa continues to captivate and inspire people worldwide.